Hi, welcome to Unity for Beginners from Beginners. This tutorial will be just some quick tips to help someone get started in Unity at an absolute beginner level. And in this first part, we're going to talk about how to download Unity Hub, how to use Unity Hub to install the latest version of Unity on your computer, and how to start your very first project. Google Unity. And then it should be the first thing that pops up. You can go straight to download. You're going to want to accept the terms and then click this that says download Unity Hub. And you're going to download and install the application Unity Hub. And from there, the application has this icon that looks like this. You can click on that, and in Unity Hub, that's where you install versions of Unity. So if you go to this that says installs on the side, click add, should be on the latest release. You can click that and you can install it. Now you're going to have Unity installed. You can go to project. I have a lot here, but you might not have any if you just installed it. And you can click new project. We're going to create a 3D project. Now that we've opened our first Unity project, we're going to make a room. In this part, we're going to learn to insert a cube, scale, rotate, and move that cube, and download an asset from the Unity Asset Store. Okay, when you open your new project in Unity, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to automatically give you a sample scene. It's going to put a camera and a directional light in your scene. So we just want to show some basics of how to set up a room. Something that's interesting about Unity, if you're really new to this, you might not realize that there is like no floor here, and you need to put that in because it goes on forever and ever. So the way we can go about setting up a space is you can just right click in this bar here and then go to 3D object and just click cube. It's going to put a cube in there for you. And so to turn this cube into a shape that would be more suitable for a floor, we use these tools over here to scale it. And this has its size in the X, Y, and Z directions. We want to make it larger in the X direction. We want it to be 10. We want it to be 10 in the Z direction. This is going to be really big. And then we want it actually to be flatter in the Y direction, so we'll just make it 0.5. Maybe actually a little bit less, 0.02. And now we have a super flat floor. And what we can do if we want to just make a square room, we can actually duplicate this and make it into walls as well. So that's just Control or Command D, depending on your operating system. And you can see here under cube, it now says cube 2. So we don't mix these up. We can name this cube. To name it, we go up to this box up here, and you can just type floor, and then this cube, we can make this cube our wall. And we can move it. Since it's selected here, we know that when we move this, we're moving it, and you can see there is actually a duplicate there. Of course, to make a wall, we need it oriented in a different direction, so we're going to go to rotation, and we're going to rotate it by 90 degrees. And now we have a wall, but it's not quite in the right place, so we're just going to move it and then we can look at this from the top. And now we can turn this into another wall, also using Command or Control D. And can put that where seems appropriate. And we can even make one more. Rotate it in the Y direction as well. So another thing we can do with our room is we can put the floor and the 3 walls together so that we can move them as a unit. And what we do is we can let the floor be what we call the parent object, and then we take this first wall and just drag it onto the floor. And now you can see that's indented under floor. That means it's a child object of the floor, and we can do the same thing with the other walls. And this means when the floor is selected, it will move all the floor and the walls together as a unit. However, if we just select one of the walls, let's select this one, we can still move it separately. But when the floor is selected, because it's the parent object, it will move everything together. So the last thing we want to do for our room, I'm going to show you how to start adding some furniture. And we can find furniture models in the asset store. So you can go access the asset store, the Unity asset store, through your browser or straight through Unity. And I'll just click this tab and it will take me to the asset store. And I'm thinking maybe I want a table for my room, so I'm just going to search table. That's under search there. Hit enter. And then, since I'm just a beginner, I usually am looking for something that's a little bit cheaper just to learn on. And so you can pay for assets, but there's usually, for basic things, there's free ones, so I usually sort by price, low to high. Of course, if you have different priorities, you could rate by popularity, rating, or if they're recent. And then I'll scroll down and see it's showing me free options, and you can just scroll and see what looks good. So here is a dinner table. That looks beautiful. Double click that. And then how you get this into your scene, first you're going to click download. Sometimes it takes a minute. And then after you download it, you're not done, you have to click import. And then you can click which things you want. If you just want the tablecloth, maybe, well, this is the tablecloth material, so if that's all you want, you can click that. Or if you, but I say I want it all, it looks really great, so I'm going to leave them all checked. Just click import. And now we see that we have this folder called dinner table, and we can click the file that says models. Now with your table, you can just drag and drop it in the scene. And we can move it forward a little bit. We might want to change the scale on this, because either the scale of my room is way too big or the scale of my table maybe is a little small. So we just made it a little bit bigger. You can see it's this gray color, but the dinner table file also came with a materials file, and this is the table material, or we drag it onto our table, and now our table has beautiful wood color. Our final tips are about navigating your scene. We want to show you how to use the hand tool, the scene gizmo, and arrows to easily move around your 3D scene. So now I want to show you a couple tricks for navigating your scene, especially in 3D. It can be confusing if you are using a trackpad on OS and you scroll. Instead of scrolling, it just zooms. Might be what you want it to, but maybe you're like, wait, how do I scroll? Something that's useful. Up here in the upper left, there's a hand tool. That hand is going to let you move around your scene. There's some other tools up there. If you're not wanting to use the hand tool, you can be on the move tool, which is what's going to allow you to select something and move it up and down, as I was showing you earlier. This tool over here is called our scene gizmo, and it's what's going to allow us to change our perspective. So if you click Y, it'll give us a view from above. We can zoom in on that a little bit, and then you see this other arrow, this red arrow. So we have the red arrow that we can see, the blue arrow, and then we have the other one that we can't see as well from this perspective, is the one that moves it up and down. And depending on what you want to do, you probably will want to be adjusting your perspective. So we can go back to looking at it how we were before, and then we can go in a circle until we're looking at it like this. So just to review, that was how to use our hand tool and our move tool. This is called the scene gizmo and lets you change your perspective. Then you can also navigate your scene using your arrows. This is my right arrow. This is my left arrow. If I want to go forward, I can use my up arrow. Backward, I can use my down arrow. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Unity for Beginners from Beginners.